81 days to go until we will know who won the presidential election. 81 days, enough time to go around the world with a day to spare. 4 days until the gavel drops and the Democratic convention convenes in the city of Chicago. This is the warning. The story of the hour is the collapse of the Trump campaign. His ludicrous remarks and speech while delivering supposedly comments about the economy were something for the ages. It seems Donald Trump has finally figured out how to go after Kamala Harris. He's using the time-tested, fat kid, I'm taking my ball home copycat attack. Let's watch.
When Kamala lays out her fake economic plan this week, probably will be a copy of my plan because basically that's what she does. Remember a couple of days ago? And we will have no tax on tips. I said that was my plan.
The issue is Kamala Harris has a plan for service workers in America. Your tips won't be taxed. And Donald Trump is very, very upset about it. He says it's his idea. Let me ask you a question. When Donald Trump was president, did he do anything to reduce taxes on tips? But at any rate, the Don is spinning. He's enraged. According to news reports, and this is a serious issue, no laughing matter, he could be suffering from post-traumatic stress. It seems that he's watching over and over and over again the 7-second clip of the assassination. We know it's top of mind. He very deliberately said at the Republican convention, I will never talk about this again. Let's watch.
So many people have asked me, what happened? Tell us what happened, please. And therefore, I will tell you exactly what happened. And you'll never hear it from me a second time because it's actually too painful to tell.
And yet, when he's with Elon Musk, he talks about it nonstop. This is somebody who's dealing with trauma, somebody who's dealing with an event that he hasn't processed. And at the same time, he's having to process a real life event, and that's the collapse of the campaign. A few weeks back in the Atlantic magazine, his campaign managers, Susie Wiles and Chris LaCivita, were quoted talking about the certainty of a Trump landslide, a Trump restoration. They were measuring the drapes in the Oval Office, and it's all slipping away. And Trump is enraged. He has effectively stopped campaigning. He is in Mar-a-Lago, obsessively watching the assassination tape over and over again, stewing, raging. Kamala Harris, according to Trump, is stealing his best ideas. She's a copycat. Enraged at his campaign staff and enraged at American weirdo J.D. Vance. The worst vice presidential pick, worse than Palin. He is the bearded Sarah Palin and weird. Here's J.D. in college. You know, most people in college don't dress up like J.D. did. But putting that aside, J.D. Vance talks about women in the weirdest way. I'm trying to think of the times when I'm with all men, playing golf, doing whatever, watching a game, hanging out. And I'm trying to imagine the reaction if one of the guys started talking about the role of postmenopausal women in society, talking about their usefulness is effectively over except for watching the kids. What all of the other guys would say, they would look at that guy and they'd be like, who's the fucking weirdo? I mean, it's weird, and it's okay to say it's weird. In fact, not saying it's weird is not okay. You should be free. I should be free. We should all be free to point out the obvious. This guy is very weird. He talks and sounds like what these young men identify themselves as incels sound like. Is J.D. Vance an incel? What's wrong with him? Weird is weird is weird. And you don't want any weirdos or any whack jobs anywhere near decision-making around, for example, the launch of nuclear weapons, the beginning of war. Let's watch Donald Trump talk about He loves the strong ones. Again.
And they asked the head of the Prime Minister of Hungary, very tough man, strong man, very, somebody that I always got along. I get along with the strong ones. I don't get along with the weak ones. Isn't that sad? That's a personality defect.
Appalling doesn't begin to describe it. At any rate, in America, a nation of 350 million people, we have some scores of millions, maybe 30 or so, that have given up something of themselves, their agency. If they're told to drink bleach, some of them will. If they're told that the smaller crowd size is bigger, it must be true because the leader says it's true. There's no easier club to join than MAGA. Though you do have to give something up. You have to give up self-respect. You have to give up responsibility because once you're in MAGA, everything becomes easy, right? Nothing's your fault. It's all a conspiracy. But what is it about Donald Trump that makes someone want to glue a bandage to the side of their head and stare at him like a zombie clapping? What are they so enthralled by? Why are they so disconnected that this is what they turn to? Who knows? Who cares? What matters is that they not get power ever. Donald Trump is one of three people in all of American history who has received his party's nomination 3 times as a non-incumbent president, meaning aside from FDR, Henry Clay, William Jennings Bryan, and Donald Trump. This is a season for the Republican Party founded in 1854 of ritualistic suicide. No party's ever lost so much with such a loser atop. And yet here we go again. The Republicans, the radical Trump MAGA Republicans, are going to get wiped out in November and maybe in the next election until the insanity stops. The end is coming for MAGA because finally the secret to defeating it is unlocked, visible, and present. It is the manifestation spiritually, rhetorically, physically of something better, change, new. The United States is a dynamic country. It's a young country. And democracy needs constant refreshment. It is a wellspring that bubbles to the surface so that in the dark moments, suddenly hope like a geyser can spring up. And that's what we're witnessing. What drama, what excellence from Kamala Harris campaigning, introducing herself to the American people. And her upward trajectory is still going up. The convention is at hand. It will be a fantastic affair filled with optimism. Next week, Democrats will sell their vision to America. And next week, Donald Trump will slip a little bit more into the muck that is swallowing him and his dreadful cause. Good. This is the warning. Join our community. Be informed. Have a perspective. Know what's going to happen next because you saw it here first. I'm Steve Schmidt. This is the warning, and I invite you to subscribe on our Substack, on our YouTube channel. Follow us. Welcome to the community.